So with all this rain that we've been having, I thought it was a good idea to actually talk about water. I've got two storage locations. I've got a water tank under the bow here, and then I've also got temporary water in my bow locker. The tank under the bow is inside the cabin and is spray foam insulated. It's made from stainless steel and is filled from a dedicated point on the bow. Water is taken from the tank via a screw thread connector at its base. I have a bow thruster fitted, which is situated in front of my water tank and behind the front locker. This means the water tank isn't as big as it could be. Around the network are water points like this one. You often need a British Waterways key to open them. They're provided as part of your licence, and the water is mains drinking water. My first job was to calculate the amount of water the tank could hold. I purchased this little gadget. It measures the water that passes through it and fixes onto the tap and hose. It's meant for gardeners, but I used it to calculate my tank's capacity. I can store 274 litres of water in my bow tank. As the tank has never been used, I needed to thoroughly clean it. I used a product called PuriClean, which thoroughly cleans the tank and removes any bacteria it may hold. After leaving it overnight, I pumped it out into the boatyard's drainage. I refilled and rinsed the tank again, and then finally filled it with fresh mains water. I'll probably do this around about 4 times a year. Because I'm reverse flow and the kitchen is at the back, I've actually got a locker at the front that would normally have gas bottles in it, just storing a bit of junk. So I thought I'd take all that out, store it away, throw away things I didn't need, and actually use this locker to store water. I purchased a flexible water tank by Plastimo. It's triangular in shape and has a tough outer cover and an internal bladder for the water. It has 2 water points and this one holds 120 litres. It sits quite nicely in my bow locker. I can't use this in the winter, however, as it would quickly freeze. And inside my locker I store a flexible hosepipe. That's it. That goes up to 50 feet and it's completely flexible and goes to around about 3 times its length. I wanted to easily see how much water I had left in my tank, so purchased an inline water level sensor. It measures the pressure of the water using a sensor that's fitted into a normal 15mm T. When the tank is filled to its max, you adjust the amplifier sender using a small screwdriver so the dot on the graphics goes out. This calibrates the sensor so it knows the pressure at full. I initially installed it so the unit was sticking upwards, but soon realised because that was quite a lot higher than the bottom of the tank, the meter was showing empty when I actually had lots of water left over. So I removed a section of the floor and a few bricks from the ballast and mounted the unit on its side at the bottom of the tank. The sensor is connected to the 12-volt supply and a signal wire is connected to the display gauge. I'll be installing the display within the woodwork of the fit-out. I then have a flexible hose connected to the filter on the pump. I'd been told this reduces the pump vibration down the boat when in use. Before the pump I have an inline water filter. After just a few months of use, it's surprising how many bits it's filtered. I wanted a good water flow, both in the galley and for a shower. This pump is a Jabsco Parmax 3.5. It can pump 13.2 litres of water per minute and pressurises the system so it's just like a mains tap. As the pressure between systems varies, it tends to pulsate pumps, making them go on and off. To stop that, I installed, albeit temporary for now, a 5-litre accumulator tank. It needs to be fitted as close to the pump as possible, and inside it there's a flexible membrane surrounded by pressurised gas. When I first installed it, there was no difference whatsoever, so needed to regulate the pressure in the tank. I removed the end cap and, just like the valve on a bike tyre, I let a small bit of the nitrogen gas out until the taps and pump no longer pulsated. The engine will give hot water as well. A bit like a radiator on a car, First of all, it gets dissipated on a keel line tank, which uses the water from the actual canal, the cold water, and it sort of cools down the tank. Now secondly, you can have specific pipes like these that come off the actual engine and go into the calorifier, which is basically a hot water tank. The calorifier is right at the stern of the cabin and needs to be within 3 meters of the engine. This has 2 coils inside the tank, and the black pipes from the engine are passed through the bulkhead and connects to the bottom of the 2 coils. When up in Middlewich, I also had a new Webasto boiler installed. This will heat water for radiators as well as a hot water tank. My boiler install will be in a separate, more detailed video, but it acts just like a normal household boiler. As the water fed from the engine can get very hot, there is a thermostatic mixer valve fitted to the tank to avoid excessive dangerous temperatures. At the top is a 1 kilowatt electric immersion heater, and I'll likely use this to use up excess solar energy. I also have a normal washing machine on board, and it pumps its water overboard. Since episode 3, where I slept in a tent, I have now built a bulkhead and a bed. It's raised off the floor more than a normal bed, so I have ample storage underneath. On the reverse of the bulkhead is my brand new shower. It's a normal domestic shower and has a 900 by 900mm quadrant tray and a normal height screen. The outflow is positioned next to the narrowboat's side, but it's below the canal's waterline. Water from a shower is called grey water and not harmful to wildlife. It's pumped out into the canal using what's called a whale gulper. This is an electric pump that gulps the water and pushes it up through a pipe to a fixing on the hull. I chose a shower where the water flow was separate to the temperature. I wanted to keep water wastage to a minimum, so didn't want to control where you needed to find the right temperature, wasting the valuable limited water I had on board. I wanted to keep an eye on the water usage whilst having a shower, so have an Amphero A1 meter. It's powered from the water going through it and measures the amount of water used, its temperature, and motivates me to turn off the water during the shower when lathering up, a bit like an army shower. This has greatly reduced my water consumption. Whenever the main tank is low, I can transfer water from the flexible tank in the bow locker. I connect it to a separate, less powerful pump, and then into the main tank. The water stored on board lasts me around about 2 weeks. That's for things like washing up, the washing machine, having a shower every day, and the toilet. I'm definitely going to buy 2 more flexible water tanks though. One for the bow locker, exactly the same size and dimensions, and a larger 200 litre tank that will easily fit under the bed. I wanted all of this extra water capacity to allow me to go to areas that don't necessarily have as many water taps, or areas where I can stay longer and enjoy the scenery without being constantly looking at the water meter. Next time I'm going to navigate right to the very end of the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal where it meets the sea, and then I'm going to turn around and navigate north. Please do click the subscribe button, that will keep you notified of all my updates, and please hit the like button if you want to. Both of those are totally free. So until next time, see you later.